Hey everybody, it's been a long time since I've done an update on any of the outdoor stuff. Every time I intended to work on stuff outside this year has been an absolute disaster. And I mean an absolute disaster for me. So there's been no videos, there's been nothing. But here we are. So yeah, anyway, I am cleaning up the shed right now, getting it ready to be winterized. I've taken a bunch of stuff out of it. I really got to get to the roof too of the shed. I need to hopefully get that done before the snow flies. The farmall is still sitting right where it's been sitting for a long time. I've talked about it in other videos, but I'm going to come in here. So this is a glass fuel bowl. There's a metal bracket that this goes, well, it's the fitting where the fuel comes out of the tank, and there's a metal bracket that goes around the bottom of it and has a screw to hold it up to the fitting, right? The bracket broke. As you can see, the glass is still fine. I'm going to keep it because you never know, right? Obviously, my workbench is still a mess. Got the 3 out of the 4 spare engines for this guy sitting there on the floor. 1 that is out of the same kind of tractor. 2 that are higher horsepower. That's an 8. As is the one in the tractor. These are both 10 horse. 2 different size shafts, 2 different style shafts, but I'm not worried about that because the shaft can always be swapped. It's the same block. So, I mean, I can swap parts back and forth between those 2 all day long. Or buy new parts, of course. But yeah, trying to get everything cleaned up. Get ready for the winter. That mower still hasn't been fixed. That's the one that I use right now. I would rather use that one because it's a mulching mower. Just life keeps getting in the way, and weather. Every time that I've had time, the weather's been bad. Every time the weather's been good, I haven't had time, or if I've had time, I haven't had energy because I drove truck or, you know, whatever. Life has just been too busy. But the big plan is this guy. So this is an old wood stove my mom gave me. I need another section of pipe. The shed is already... Sorry. I didn't mean to stick you guys right in the light. It's already plumbed up for this size of pipe, for the inner diameter. So I just need a coupler and then another section of pipe, and we'll be good to go. Be able to have wood heat in here. I already have along the back wall on the outside, I already have a bunch of wood stacked up, ready to go. That will get moved and stacked in here. All this stuff obviously will have to go in order for that to happen. Back here, all of this wood, I've actually already started. I'm making a ceiling. So all of that will get enclosed. All my lumber is up there. That's all going to stay up there. But everything up to this is going to be closed. That rafter. And the only downside is that their length ends up landing them right there. And that's a full length piece. So for fitting it in, for most of it, this, because of where the stovepipe is going, I'm doing this part differently. But for everything over here, I'm probably going to cut them off at that rafter and then just section in a piece rather than having them end and then having this only supported on one end. That's dumb. Or putting in another rafter, which is what really probably should be done, because if we look here, these rafters are so far apart, and then these ones, if I get you above there, I mean, they are definitely double. There is one missing. You can see it should be coming off right there because they come off of that side of those. It's not a big deal. Just annoying. So maybe I'll put that in there. It's not like I don't have the lumber. I don't know if I have one long enough, though. I should check that. Add that to the list. But yeah, the goal is to get this guy ready to go. Get wood in here. In this back corner, get all of this lumber either used up there or put away up there. And have this back area, I'm going to build a set of shelves. In fact, I probably have the lumber to build the shelves too without even spending any money on it. I want to go, I don't know if I'm going to go 18 inches deep or 24 inches deep, but I'm going to have a shelf all the way across here. Yes, it will block this window. I don't care. That window is absolutely useless because it's blocked by trees. I don't really get any light in through it. And it's not like it'll be totally blocked, right? But along the bottom shelf will be my heavy goods, like my spare engines. These are going to move. They actually might go on the bottom shelf too if I make it tall enough. I'll have to figure all that out. But the idea is get this place usable for me to work in over the winter and start working on these, on this, and getting stuff going that I've been putting off for far too long. There's a strong potential. I will not be driving truck anymore after December. Basically after Christmas. I'm thinking the Christmas break from work is the last time I'll go out driving truck. Now that Lady Metal has another job, I can concentrate on making things better around our home. But yeah, so get that done. Other stuff that's going to go on the shelves is all the paint, all the cans of brake clean and carb clean, the good cans of oil and coolant in the front, red caps of coolant. Like I said, all the paint. A stereo system, not that one, but a stereo system will go on there, and that way I can have easy access to it. I kind of have a makeshift stereo going right there. It's an old car stereo with CD player and 2 house stereo. In fact, the ones to that, speakers. And I just have it all wired up because, I know how to do that sort of stuff. It's running off of a 12-volt wall wart, and the antenna just hangs off the light fixture and collects cobwebs. It's been a really bad year for spiders. And obviously all my bigger tools, like the nail guns and stuff, could all go on the shelves too. Basically, I need to get all this small stuff up off the floor so that I have room. And I've been preparing for this, especially for that project right there, for a long time, to the point that I bought myself a very nice, very expensive camera. So this is a borescope, so you can look down inside your bore, hence the name borescope, right? You can look down in the bore through your spark plug holes of your engines and have a good look at what's going on inside, help you figure out problems without tearing the whole engine apart. Basically, make sure you need to tear the engine apart. I know I need to tear that one apart or replace it, which is what we're going to do, because that one needs a full rebuild kit, including probably going to the machine shop and getting the cylinder board out, and I can't afford that right now. So, starter generator, I think the one on the tractor is defective. That's a parts one. Parts gas tank, those both came with that parts motor. Yeah, if we go out here, those of you who've been watching the channel for a long time, focus. I also have that parts tractor. I'm going to totally disassemble that thing. I mean, strip it down to the bare frame, because I don't need any of the framing. I might keep the fenders, but the actual, this piece, I guess it's still pretty solid, but it's pretty rusty too. But anyway, just strip it all down. So that motor, the generator, the fuel tank, all the bits and bobs that are worth keeping. The hood is not. Hood's shattered all along the front there. There's pieces of it missing. That hood's, it's fiberglass. It's just going in the trash. It's not worth anything. Steering wheel's pretty rough. The one that I have is better. And you can get brand new ones of those still. Seat's really good though. It just needs, cleaned up and painted. So anything that's savable, I will save. And all of that can go on the shelves too. And I do have my new tent shed for keeping some stuff in as well, but there's only so much room in there, and I'd like to squeeze that guy in there. Probably a good time to talk about this guy though. I'm surprised the battery's still here. I don't know if they just didn't notice it or what. It does need its terminals cleaned up. They're kind of corroded from sitting out here in the weather. The insides of these need cleaned up for the same reason. Not too worried about that. That's easily taken care of. I'm going to take that in the shed today. But I came out here yesterday doing some yard work, Lady Mel and I happened to look over at the tractor from that side, and I saw, you can kind of see the ring right there. I saw the fuel cap sitting over there. And I panicked, and I was like, oh boy, I just ruined all my fuel by getting it mixed with rainwater. Except I didn't. It's pretty rare for me to leave a fuel cap off. I don't know how good you guys are going to be able to see down in there, if at all. It doesn't look like at all. And I can't turn on the light. Oh, I probably could if I could actually see with all the glare. But anyway, you'll have to take my word for it. There's basically nothing down to like here, and it's all water. There's a little bit of fuel smell, but it's water. I had put 10 gallons of fuel in here, the good recreation fuel that doesn't have ethanol, which is what you want for these old machines especially, and it's all gone. Somebody took my fuel cap off, siphoned all of that out, and then just left it, and it filled with water. Of the 10 gallons, I had probably burned around 2 gallons of it. So I estimate they stole 8 gallons of fuel at about $5, well, $4.50 to $5 a gallon. So let's call it $5 a gallon, and that's $40, guys. It's $40 worth of fuel somebody stole from me. Not real happy about that. For, I mean, all the obvious correct reasons, right? Oh, but we get down here. There's the, can you guys see it? Kinda. But this is the fitting, all right? This has got the fuel shut off, the actual fuel line, and down here is where the glass bowl goes, and then that bracket that holds that on with the screw nut on the bottom of it to make it have tension to hold it in place. And there's a cork gasket up in here and a filter screen and all that, and then the valve to turn the fuel on and off. Unfortunately, the replacement that I have, the bracket doesn't fit this, so I have to actually take this fitting off. And I was waiting to do it because I need to drain the fuel. I no longer need to drain the fuel. So I guess in one very terrible, expensive way, that helps with this project. So hopefully more to come on that, and she'll be running again soon, even if it's just to drive over there and drive into that. Yeah, she's too tall with the muffler on, but all I got to do is get her over there, back her up till the muffler's close to the peak there, and then just take the muffler off and drive it in with no muffler and shut it off. That's all that has to be done there. So height-wise, it'll fit. Width-wise, it'll fit. I just don't know, because of the other stuff in here, if I have enough length. And then, like I was saying, the metal has to go on the roof. There's my wood pile. I'm going to move as much of this inside the shed as I can, because coming out and getting it in the middle of the winter when it's covered in snow and all frozen together is a pain in the ass. I'm not interested in playing that game. Worst case scenario, if the tractor won't fit in there, I'm going to nose it in here as far as I can after I clean all this up, make sure there's nothing that's going to pop my tires in there, and just get her nosed in there as far as I can. Obviously, the wheels will stop like right here, somewhere in this bush, and then up against that tree. Maybe it depends on how far forward I feel I can get it with that bush there, just to help hide it away a little bit. And then we'll put a tarp over the top of it, and she'll have to unfortunately sit another year outside. But yeah, those are the goals. Those are the updates. The trailer still hasn't been worked on either, because it has all this sheet metal sitting on top of it, waiting for me to get that on the roof. It's like every project is being delayed because another project is in the way right now. And the only way to solve that sometimes is to make a drastic change, like yanking everything out and starting over on your organization. Because, let's be honest, I had let it get disorganized, badly disorganized. I'm kind of ashamed of it. I couldn't even get in here. This right here, where this crack is at, where that crack is at in the floor, which is about 2.5 feet in from the doorway. Maybe 3 feet. Yeah, I guess it's about 3 feet. That was as far as I could get in there. The usable mower was sitting right here, and the handle was sticking out, and everything else was just, the whole floor was just covered in stuff. Most of it short, little stuff that if it was on a shelf, wouldn't be an issue. So yeah, Oh, big time plans, big time changes. Now I just have to have the energy to do it. I'm already exhausted, and I haven't even really done that much today. Of course, I did, all the yard work yesterday, plus work all week long. So, and I'm fat. Let's be honest, I'm fat, and that makes it a lot harder to get stuff done. So I will bring you guys along for as much of this journey as I can. But now that I'm seeing what I have sitting here for wood, I am going to just start building. I didn't realize I had this much left, especially these. There's some good shelf right there. Maybe make the two lowest shelves, so we'll have the floor. Yeah, the floor with those on it going across, a shelf above those, one of these wide ones, another shelf above that, the other wide one, and then start going narrower. And I can use some of this chipboard too. I hate chipboard, but I do have some more thicker plywood back here as well, so I can make plenty of shelves. I could, if I wanted to, also slide it over there. Yeah, I could rip these to be the same width as this, and then take the two pieces that are ripped off and combine them together on a single shelf. The real question is, do I have any 1x4 to make the under the shelf framing so that it has support? I have some. I have two of them right there. These are L-shaped pieces that are pre-made, but I could also rip this side piece off and have some more. I probably won't, though. It's more effective to just go buy some more one. Oh, I have three. I didn't even see the third one up on top there. So I have 3 1x4. Oh, nope. There's a fourth one up on top of that 1x6. There's another 1x4. So yeah, I have some materials. 2x4s for the outer bracing and legs on either end. Yeah. And you know what? There's my shelf depth, because I don't want to block that doorway. Even though I don't use what's in there, it's an old outhouse toilet that I need to fill in and turn that into more storage. But that's a project for another year, assuming we even live here that long. So that means that's my shelf depth right there. Boop. No more than that. So I'll get some 2x4s going, and yeah, a lot of work, but it's got to be done. I need to be able to use this space. I really want to get this thing going. And I do have this other project that I don't think I've ever showed you guys. I got this already disassembled like this. The piston, they told me the piston was cracked, but looking at it, I have not seen any cracks in it. So I don't know if they even knew what they were talking about, but that needs rebuilt. There's all the parts. Unless maybe they meant the cylinder for the piston is cracked. I don't see any cracks in it, though. None whatsoever. Of course, if there's a crack under that gasket, I ain't going to see it right now. But that's a project for another time. I got to stop. So many projects, and I want to work on them. But I have to be smart with my time. That's an old battery. That's just there for a core. That just needs shoved in a corner and out of the way somewhere. Obviously, I've got tools that are supposed to be on that. You know, like this guy should be up there. This square shovel should be up there. Even the broom should be up there. And they're not, because there's junk in the way. So that junk's got to go. This machine is hiding back here. It's some kind of cleaning machine my mom wanted me to see if I could fix. So is that one. Neither one's fixable. I'm going to strip them for salvageable parts, which is probably just the motors, if the motors still work, and the cord. That one's got a nice heavy cord on it, so we'll take that cord. What else? This thing, it's a nice planter box, or was once upon a time, and I was going to rebuild it with all new material. That's what some of that stuff up there was for. There's other planter boxes that all need rebuilt too. I don't know if I'm honestly going to ever get to those. I just have too many demands on my time. I have to talk to Lady Metal about it, but I'm thinking we're just not gonna play that game. We're just gonna leave it all be, because it's just, like I said, more important demands on the time. The wheel weights there for the John Deere can go. This is a hydraulic cylinder. I don't think I ever showed you guys that either. And pump that can go on that John Deere as well, except it's very rough. I paid 20 bucks for it. I think it was probably just throwing 20 bucks away. I don't think I can save this. That rust pitting's pretty bad. But you never know till you get some emery cloth and clean it up and see what you've got. Even if I can save this shaft, the seal here will have to be replaced. The lines, they're like rock solid, and you can see they're pretty frayed. I wouldn't trust them. I'd want to replace them. But if I could get them going, that would be freaking awesome, because this snowblower is heavy. So lifting it up by hand by the existing, there you go, by the existing mechanical linkage is painful. Also, because it weighs so much, this, on the other side of this, there's a braided metal line, and these two bolt heads right here are for a pulley. Well, John Deere was dumb when they designed this pulley, and I bought a replacement. There were still new old stock replacements available, and I bought one, and it was a complete waste of money. It's already destroyed. That thing weighs so much money, and they only have a support on one side. So it's like, it's a metal, it goes up in an L shape, and the top of the L, the short leg of the L, is where these bolts go in, and on the long side of the L, the pulley is hanging off the side, so it just bends from the weight. I have found at Tractor Supply a replacement that should fit, and it's supported on both sides. It's sitting in the house by my computer desk, of all places. It needs to make it out here. Oh, old man knees. Yeah, I got some life jackets in there that don't really need to be in there. I need to clean that shelf up too and make better use of that storage space. It's all just a big mess right now. And it's not going to get done today, but today's only Saturday, so I have today and tomorrow to work on it. That is also my John Deere chainsaw, and that little orange piece there is from an Echo chainsaw, because the John Deere is a rebranded Echo. And that, I bought that for the side piece from the Echo here, 4 parts inside of the recoil mechanism in order to fix the John Deere chainsaw, so that I'll have a couple of good running chainsaws. Boy, you know, guys, I think that's actually everything. I've been talking fast, I know. A lot of ground to cover because we haven't had an update in so long. But I didn't want to leave you guys, hanging forever either. I know Richard especially has been asking for an update on that guy there. Let's see, what else? Oh, there is the decks. We didn't talk about the decks at all. Those are also very heavy. Those weigh about 150 pounds a piece, believe it or not. I got to make one good deck out of the 2, which means I got to find good spindles, because you can't get spindles for these. Although I can potentially, if I invest in a bearing press, a hydraulic press, probably just a 25-ton, maybe a 50-ton, I can press the bearings out and just rebuild the spindles that are in it. Which, if I've got 3 spindles in each deck and I only need 3 total, I have double what I need. I should be able to, in theory, either find 3 decent ones out of the 6 or repair a couple of them. But the rest of it is mostly cosmetic, just cleaning them up, putting new paint on them. I might even get those stickers off, all the decals off, and either leave them off of it or preferably have some new ones made if I can't find ones that already exist. You can find a lot of that stuff on the internet, funny enough. People are making them. I know for the farmall out there, I can get every single decal on that thing professionally made. They're not new old stock, they're fresh printing. But yeah, I guess real quick also, I do have a bunch of dowels for rebuilding all the various and sundry pieces of planter boxes. Just the time. I don't know. There's a lot of space under that workbench. I might just take all of those and just shove them all along under there. There's a few things under there. There's a bundle partial bundle of shingles, what was left from doing the roof on this when it was done last. And there's, I don't know if you guys can see them, there's a bunch of backsplash, blue colored glass backsplash with adhesive tape on the back of it. That was put in here by somebody long before me. It was filthy and nasty when I bought the house. So, yeah. I think that's, I have to check it, but I think that's good oil. I think that one is old oil. But yeah, there's the used motor oil jugs. Oh boy, it's going to be a busy day of work, but I'm happy about it. I really am. You know, continue to expand, continue to improve. It's all we can ever do. For now, though, I'd like to thank you all for watching. And as always, the equipment and I will see you on the next one.